Now, I could do a whole lecture about the fallacy of cholesterol, which means nothing, by the way. You'll have to just read my book to learn about that. But what does mean a whole lot is the acidity of the body, this chronic inflammation that your bodies are under every day, whether that's a stress-induced or toxin-induced or food acidic-induced. This inflammation is what drives cardiovascular disease. And when you get a bunch of acidity in your body and you start pulling calcium out of your bone and it starts going into the blood vessels, now you increase the risk of having a buildup of calcium deposits in the bloodstream. When we had the medical clinic, we had people come from all over to do intravenous chelation therapy to break up this calcium in the blood vessels. Here's a way that you can do it. And you can actually read the research about how this water, as a dissolvent, any water, but in this water in particular, because it's microcluster, it's a smaller water molecule, it really hydrates things and can break up that buildup of calcium. Pretty exciting stuff. Now, I had to go out on a limb, though, and I met with Jody, and I was really not a very nice person when I met Jody because I quizzed her in depth about, I don't want to sell these things. Is there any, and basically what I was trying to do is figure out a way that they could share this technology with my patients, and my patients would never know that I had anything to do with it. That's really what it was all about, Jody. And so I was not very nice to her when we met. And it was, my rationale was, if I share this, people are going to think that I've got this vested interest in this machine, and all I want to do is share the machine. But dadgummit, what happened was, not only did I buy a machine for my house, and everyone in my house, including my kids, started benefiting, I bought a machine for the clinic. So, I made $1,000, in the hole. So, at first blush when someone said $4,000, and now I would tell you, if someone said that the machines were $10,000 or $20,000, I wouldn't blink an eye. Now that I truly understand it and seen what I've seen firsthand. Well, we started sharing the water with patients in the clinic because I wanted to see. I've seen all these testimonials, but that doesn't mean anything to me. Until I see it firsthand, until I can actually witness it, and I know and trust the person, I'm not going to mention anything about it. So we just did an experiment. We had people drinking this water, and we started seeing things like people with eczema, it start to clear up. I mean, nasty, yicky kind of eczema clear up. We had a lady with atopic dermatitis that she'd had for months. It went away in 3 days. That's unheard of. We had people with low back pain. We had people, a lot of my fibromyalgia patients, and I'm one of those crazy doctors who kind of treats the medical misfits, the people who've been everywhere, tried everything, and can't get well, and somehow they wind up in Birmingham, Alabama with some little chiropractor nutritionist. I don't know why, but they find me. And even in these patients, these difficult patients, this water was making a difference. There had to be something to it. So I decided, okay, I'm going to have to come out of the closet. And I'm going to have to tell people about this thing. And the more I've learned about these machines, this technology, the water, this company, which is a 35-year-old company out of Japan, it's these machines, as Jody will share with you, are the only machines endorsed by the Japanese Preventive Medical Association. They've been endorsed by that prestigious organization since 2002. The only machine. This machine's in 250 hospitals and clinics in Japan. It's in 1 in 5 households in Japan. It's everywhere but here, and it needs to be here. And just like I preach about getting healthy, staying healthy, now I've taken on a mission that I need to be preaching about this technology, and in particular this particular machine. So if you're on the fence like I was, don't take 15 months. I mean, make a decision. Research it if it feels right for you. That's what I tell my patients. It's not a panacea. It's not going to make everything go away. It's not going to make you grow hair. I mean, I heard somebody say that. That's pretty cool. I've not heard that. It doesn't cure all my fibromyalgia patients, although we had a patient share how much better it does, and it's the antioxidants that are helping do that, and the microclustering and the alkalinity. But I've had enough patients in the last 3 or 4 months get benefit with the water that it's made a believer out of me, or I would not be up here giving this presentation. I guarantee that. Juno can vouch for that. So if you're waffling, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? I mean, speak to, does it feel right? And if it feels right, just do it. My guarantee will be, and I think Jody, I maybe shouldn't mention this, but in our organization, we say if you buy a machine, if you don't want it, we'll pay for the shipping to send it back. Now, why do we do that? I guarantee you, if you really start drinking the water, not just coming to my clinic and getting the water, because after 2 days the water loses its potency, but if you're really drinking half your weight in ounces of this water every day, and it's much more powerful coming right out of your tap, I guarantee you, you can measure it. I don't know if we got an ORP meter, but we can measure, we can put it in the water and we can see the antioxidant potential. At Juno's house, she's on Irondale water, it's 650. I'm in Birmingham, it's 350. And, you know, our water's supposed to be the cleanest in America, right? But once you start drinking this water coming out of your tap, I have every faith in the world that you will never come to one of us and say, hey, I want to send the machine back.
So Dr. Murphy explained to us how the water works inside of our bodies, right? And, you know, if you're like me, you can learn a lot of head knowledge, but until you see it in action, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So we're going to do the demonstration so that, you know, what you've learned and what you've heard can match what you've seen. Nobody has to prove this water works, okay? And a lot of people that buy machines say, oh, I wish I could share this with my friends and family, but I'm not a salesperson. No one's a salesperson when it comes to the water, because the water is amazing. We can actually show you the properties of the water that makes it special. And Dr. Murphy mentioned that there's 3 properties of the water that make it different, okay, from tap water or bottled water. First of all, the water's alkaline, okay? Second of all, the water's a very powerful antioxidant, as he mentioned. The third thing about it is the microclustering, okay? And that sounds like a bunch of Greek to a lot of people. So we're going to start, I'm going to show you each of those 3 things and explain them to you. And I'm going to start with the fact that the water is alkaline, okay? Does anybody in here know about pH? I am very proud of you all, because I had no idea what pH meant at all 2 years ago when I got my water machine. But when we're born, our bodies have a neutral pH between 6.5 and 7.5. And our bodies have a very narrow window of pH that we can survive at, okay? Disease thrives in an acidic environment in our body. Disease cannot grow in an alkaline environment. Alkaline is this side of my chart, and acidic is this side of my chart, okay? So what you want to do is you want your body to be slightly alkaline or neutral so that it can heal itself, okay? That's what our bodies are designed to do to start with. Most people don't realize that a lot of the drinks that we consume as a society are very acidic. So I'm going to do a pH test and show you how all these different drinks stack up. Has anybody in here ever had one of these? Anyone? No. Okay. We use Sprite in our demonstration because it's clear, but it represents Coke or Pepsi or Mountain Dew or anything like that, okay? Anything carbonated. Propel says that it's vitamin-enhanced water beverage. Is that kind of like when Velveeta says it's cheese food? What does that mean? Okay, first of all, this is not water. It has some water in it, but we call this propane at our house. And this is exactly the same thing as Gatorade from an acidity standpoint. And my poor child with ADHD, I was just loading her up with Gatorade every single day of her life until I saw this demonstration. But I used Propel for the demo because, once again, it's clear. Okay? Now, Dasani and Aquafina are the 2 most popular bottled water products on the market. Anybody ever drank one of these before? Okay. Well, there's a lot of kind of bottled water out there. There's spring water, there's reverse osmosis water, all of these very expensive bottled waters that, you know, like, I hate to name names, but Penta and stuff like that, where, you know, it's alkaline when it goes in, right? But it's not alkaline when it comes out. What goes into these bottles and what comes out are 2 different, very, very different things, because of the plastic chemicals in the bottles are leaching. You know, we've seen all that on the news about how the plastic bottles are putting chemicals into the water, right? This bottle went through, I don't know how many temperature changes by the time we got it, right? So it's just, bottled water has its own set of problems, but even if it's good water when it goes in, it's not when it comes out, okay? These 2